Hello, and welcome back to your daily dose of culture in film. Today's headline is straight from the New York Times. Wait, moviegoing isn't dead? Our critic explains. For years we've been watching the domestic box office take a hit post-pandemic shifts, streaming, and a younger audience that almost seemed to agree that theaters were a relic. But it turns out the movies are, as the kids say, so back. The Times' own chief film critic, Manohla Dargis, takes us through the surprising revival, what she calls a youthquake. In a recent interview, Dargis explains that what's driving this renewed enthusiasm isn't just the return of big-screen spectacle. It's also the way younger viewers are finding community around shared experiences, a group chat with friends about the latest Tarantino, a family outing to a midnight screening, a chance to escape the glow of everyday screens for a collective glimpse of a story. She points out that the domestic box office is having its share of ups and downs, but the bottom line is that the number of tickets sold, especially in the 1624 age bracket, has been climbing. That's a hard-to-ignore number when you consider the size of the market potential. Dargis says the youthquake isn't just a short-term trend, it's a shift in how people interact with movies. Kids are no longer passive viewers. They're critics. They are producing social media content, reviewing films, reply to an email on a Reddit thread readers may never know about that friend, and they're adding legitimacy to the means people and creators use to fund and produce the next wave of cinema. And it's not just about the money. Dargis underscores cultural implications. The film industry, long locked behind a framework dominated by big studios, now can afford to experiment more. The resurgence mirrors a time in the 1990s when independent film had major performances in theaters. And the fan community is the new conduit for that independence. Suddenly, a film that the streaming world might consider niche can test an audience out at a physical screening and see real economic signals before moving on to a broader release. The real takeaway? Moviegoing isn't dead, but it's reshaped, filtered through new habits and new collectors. Dargis insists the core story remains the same. We're all still looking for social time and narrative escape, just in a more connected, youth-driven environment. She reminds us that if you see a showtime schedule in the newspaper or on a local poster, it could be more than just a marketing gesture, it could be evidence for a new cultural force. Enjoy that new sense of urgency? Dive into the full piece, take a deeper look at the data behind the tickets, and see how the demographic that loves the old feels about the new. Thank you for tuning in to our take on Wait, Moviegoing Isn't Dead? We'll be back next week with more stories that shape our cultural map. Until next time, keep the lights bright and the conversations going. Bye.